Can you make a dolphin noise? Okay.
Is that a dolphin?
Close. I can guess.
Okay.
I would try to mimic that, but I'm not going to compete with that. I just know it's not going to be as
Why
good.
can I do it?
All right. What's up, my people? We're checking in today with another episode of Inside the Vibe. I'm Yoru, and our guest today is a businesswoman, brand manager, brand strategist, curator, designer. You may have seen some of her work in GQ. Also, you know, she has a little work in Vogue, a little startup. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. You know, it's a little something small. I present the it girl, Johana, 2 N's, don't forget it, Johana Supreme. Alrighty, Johana, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling great today.
That's good. All right, you know, weather's nice, Nigerian Independence Day weekend, and we're gonna get right to it. So before we jump right into the questions, we're gonna have a little game. You know, get the juices flowing, get us on good energy. You know, sometimes these questions can be a little, so let's get us started. So we're gonna start with a game called This or That. I am going to ask you some questions, and you're really just gonna answer. Very calm, very get us loose, get us flowy. All right, first one. Have you ever? Yes.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you straight.
I want to clear the record.
Clear the record.
Only because what's in Vogue and GQ is Brown Mill,
Yes.
not mine.
Not you, but that is part of
But
your
part
work.
of me.
Yes, I had to gas her. If she doesn't do it, I have to gas her. She is part of the team who is representing the publications. So
100%.
by way of association and the hard work that you do,
Thank you.
she is in GQ and Vogue. So I don't care what she just said, she's in those magazines.
I am.
All right, back to the fun stuff, people. So first, have you ever missed a deadline?
All the time.
Okay.
I'm always missing deadlines.
I don't believe that, but okay. There goes the humility. I like it. What is one lie you've told your parents?
Ooh.
And give me a good one too. Don't give me don't short me.
Ooh, that's crazy.
Don't short me.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm going to give you a really great one.
Okay.
So, there was a time that I took a semester off of school.
Okay.
I didn't take a semester off school because I wanted to. Financially, we weren't going to be able to afford that semester. I was doing everything in my power to do it online. And then at the last minute, FIT financial aid hit me and they're like, oh, like either I didn't like tell them something,
Yeah.
or I didn't enroll for the right amount of credits. And they're like, yeah, you're not doing that. You owe us X amount of money. So I couldn't do it. Period, point blank. I stayed home that semester. It was fall 2018.
Wow.
And, you know, my parents are from Haiti, and I knew that there was no way I was going to be able to be honest about what was going on and it not be my fault.
Yeah, they weren't going for that.
I was like, I'm home. I'm banging out my semester online. I just work, and got myself back to New York December that same year. So.
Did they ever find out?
I didn't tell them, so
Okay.
I must tell them immediately.
Yeah.
quickly.
Okay. So have you ever worn a risque Halloween costume?
I definitely have worn a risque Halloween costume.
How risky? Like, was it like risky? You showing a little skin, or was it like politically risque?
Risky wearing skin.
Okay. I mean, I feel like
Showing
Halloween is meant for that.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's really for the girls, if we're being honest.
It's for the girls.
It's for the
I'm
girls.
showing out.
Yeah.
We're matchy.
Yeah.
It's cute.
It's the one day you get to dress like somebody you're not and not be judged for it.
Exactly.
So you got to take advantage of that for real. What was the last junk food you ate?
Wings.
Okay.
Wings and fries.
That's a safe answer because you can't go wrong with wings and fries.
No.
What's the grossest thing your pet does?
It's the going outside and then jumping on the bed for me.
Yeah, bring all those nasty.
Yes,
Okay, I
yes.
get that. Okay. Cool. Can you recite your favorite movie quote or dialogue or moment? Or even could be from a show if you don't have a movie. Just
Ooh.
anything, I guess, in cinema.
This is a wow. What would it be? Oh wow. I'm a TikTok girl.
Okay, we'll
It's-
count that. The
you know what I
court will
mean?
allow it. The court will allow
Immediately.
it.
Can't tell you the TikTok it originated from, but every time I say that word.
So when people reference TikTok, sometimes I feel old because I'm like, they'll say a quote and I'm like, oh yeah, from Twitter, and they'll be like, no, TikTok, and I'm
Yes.
like, okay.
It travels though. It
Yeah,
travels. It jumps
first
through
time-
social media.
First time in my life I felt aged out. Okay. So have you? Last one I have for you is: can you make a dolphin noise? Okay.
Is that a dolphin?
Close. I can guess.
Okay.
I would try to mimic that, but I'm not going to compete with
Okay.
that. I just know it's not going to be as
Why
good.
can I do it? That's the real
I
question.
didn't think, something.
I've been practicing.
You know what? I'm going to give it to you. And something, I put that in there because I had faith
Yeah.
that you would be
You
able
knew
to
that
deliver.
I could deliver.
You know what? And
Thank you.
I'm happy. Joanna Supreme, people. All right. So we've had a little bit of fun. I mean, I have. And now we are going to, we're going to start with the first question.
Okay.
All right. And that is to you. What do you characterize as support?
Support is multifaceted. It can be emotional. Support can be financial. In the day and age that we live in now, it could be digital. And support can be physical. I think for myself, in reflecting on what support means to me, I have a lot of it. I'm really grateful. My support system goes crazy. And I couldn't have successfully made it to the place that I've made it to, or have even done some of the things that I have without my people. So, yeah.
Dope. When did you realize that, like, that support was there? Because I know a lot of times when people, like, you do stuff, you embark on missions, journeys, projects, jobs, whatever life takes you, and you're like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I don't know who is going to show up in my corner or if I even require it. When was the first time you realized, like, wow, like I actually have this whole ecosystem that is invested in me and will show up for me if and when I need it? And even sometimes when I don't need it, they'll just be there.
Mm-hmm. I would say middle school to high school.
It's pretty early.
I have a lot of the same people that were in my life as an adolescent still.
Yeah.
Friends, best friends, close family members, you name it. And I don't know, I think especially in my move from Georgia to New York, I haven't really lost touch with some of those people. And they were so pivotal in me getting here and staying here. And I think that's when I noticed, like, my ecosphere is crazy.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you're originally from Georgia.
Yes.
That makes sense, because when your number popped up, I'm like, I don't know anybody
what
in
is that?
Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I didn't, that's, wow, okay.
Yes.
So from like metropolitan area, sort of, because is Atlanta considered that, parts of it?
It is, but I'm from like outside, so like 45 minutes north in this little town called Ackworth. That's
Okay.
where my family resides. I was born in New York, but I moved to Georgia when I was about 7 or 8. So,
Cool. So you say the root, like the connection is already there.
yes.
Dope, okay. Do you get a different sense, like, because I feel like Atlanta, from what I've heard of it, because I've never really spent like real time there, what's the biggest difference between like Atlanta and New York from your experience? Because I feel like you spent, valuable time in both.
A lot. I would say the two biggest differences, I'm laughing because I'm often thinking about Georgia and New York, and I'm like, who told me to come to the city?
Yeah.
Like, it's just different. My parents live in the suburbs. I went to a predominantly white school. I think some of the differences for me, I felt like I needed to move because what I wanted to do, I didn't feel like I could do it from where I'm from. I needed to travel to a bigger city, a place that's fashion focused. I could drive my car around Georgia, and that's not to say that you can't do that in New York City, but there's no train system near me. The closest bus stop to my house is like 25, 30 minutes.
And this is in New York?
This is in Georgia.
Okay, I was about to say.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like
yeah.
New York, they
So,
got that public transportation everywhere.
it's like black and white for me.
Yeah.
Completely different. I love to go home to kind of relax, see some of those same people that are part of my support system that still live there. But New York, I feel like, is full of so many opportunities for me specifically. It's super diverse. Yeah, I'm always on the train. I'm always walking. Like, it's a completely different life.
So you're like kind of like the realization of like small town girl, like big city girl, kind of.
Yeah,
Wow.
kind of.
So when you like go home, is there times where those worlds like collide where it's like, oh, they still see me as Johana from like back in that little small town, but I'm like, I'm still her, but I'm also Johana from like New York now. It's a little different for me.
I feel like it's definitely merged for me.
Okay, in like a seamless way, you'd say?
Yes, seamlessly now.
That's a blessing.
Thank you. Yeah, it is a blessing. I would say at first what was hard to navigate was, I guess, communication.
Yeah.
And being in two places at once. Like, I specifically remember being in college as a freshman, and yeah, my friend just being like, yo, you're present, but like you're not here.
Yeah.
Like someone's always calling you from back home, or like you're always on the phone, you're always texting. And yeah, I guess navigating friendships, new friendships, a merger of people that have known me forever and new people that are starting to love me and get to know me and be my friends and support me, and doing that number. But in going home, I don't really feel like I'm a different person.
Yeah.
I feel like people, if anything, are just like, I'm seeing all the things that you're doing and I'm proud of you because of where we came from.
Yeah. And it's like they kind of know, she's always been capable of this, because it's just a Johana we know, with different resources, different experiences, and now she's bringing to fruition all who we've known her to be able to be. That's dope.
Yeah.
So like, we're talking about support. Are there any like life skills in your life that you feel you may have not been able to develop as a result of maybe the support you received, or even the support like you had to give out?
I would say life skills, no, but I think the tricky thing about support is you realize when you have it and you realize when you don't.
Yeah.
I've been in many situations where my outpour has been abundantly more than what's been poured into me. But it hasn't, I can't say that it's hindered me too much, because everything is within the right timing.
Yes.
And everything is supposed to happen the way that it does. And I think my life is a direct reflection of like, no matter what you need will always find you at the time that you need it.
Yeah.
So I'm never without. However, yeah, I kind of forgot can you just ask him one more time?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So sometimes people get support, and as a result of that support, right?
Yes.
They don't have to develop those
the skills
tools.
that they need.
Exactly. Like if somebody's always carrying my books and my stuff, I don't have
you're
to
never
develop
gonna
the strength to carry it.
Yes,
So in that case, have people showed up? Is there something in your life you've realized that, oh wow, the first time you were in it and you didn't have that support, you're like, wow, I've actually never been in this position without help.
Yes.
Okay. And what would you
That
say
I would say no, that's not my experience.
Cool.
My experience is the latter.
Okay, and the latter, and that was that you've given so much out. There have been things that you haven't been able to focus on.
Yes.
Which I felt that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But I don't think it's anything relative to skills.
Okay.
It's just time.
Yeah.
Time to anything for me.
So as you've like grown and developed more experiences, how have you like come back? How have you dealt with that?
I needed boundaries. Intense boundaries. Therapy was huge in helping with that, in the sense of not doing too much.
Yeah.
At my core, innately, I'm a giver.
Same.
And you know what I mean? And I'm like there to support. It could be anything. My friends could tell me one thing. I'm like running to the rescue. What do I need to do? How can I help?
Problem solver.
Yes.
Same.
Exactly.
Same.
And because of that, sometimes when I'm looking at my own problems, or it's like my problems are piling up because I'm so invested on somebody else's. And it's been very important for me to know when I need to make sure I'm not being too much of the support for somebody else.
Absolutely.
And for them to be able to learn and be the driver in their own life. And to also just realize when, you know, like, oh, like the kitchen's burning for you. Like you need to turn your attention to whatever it is and focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard because at your core, the giver in you never wants to stop giving, but then you realize they've taken all I have. I don't even have any more for home. I can't put these fires out because I kept giving and nothing ever came back.
Yes.
And I think it's something everybody learns as you grow up. Because even in college and like post college, I was somebody needed me, I'm there.
Yes.
If you need somebody to talk to, I'll be on the phone hours. But then I felt like it was my junior year. I like really had a moment where I'm just like, yo, like this isn't it. Like I can't keep operating on this many cylinders and nothing refueling myself.
Yes, I'm empty.
Yeah. And once I got there, I was like, okay, now I have to go on this journey to make the decision to re-engineer who I am, not lose the giver in me, but lose who are the recipients of what I have to give. And
I'm not for everybody.
Yep.
That's my
And it's not easy because then you start to like, you may even develop like an identity crisis because now people are using language to, I guess, converse with you that they've never said before, like, oh, like you're never there, and you're not used to hearing that, or you're not used to hearing, oh, you weren't doing this when I needed you to be. So now you just have to you start to just accept who you are, and that everybody's not going to be able to see you for who you are because you no longer give them the ability to.
Exactly. Or that whatever you were doing doesn't serve them in the same way, and thus the relationship changes.
Yep.
I think that's like the toughest part, but it's super important.
Very.
And it isn't personal.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is personal, actually, but I think it's like the way me and my very best friend, my sister, we've talked about it is like a gumball machine.
Yeah.
I'm not freely giving anymore.
Yeah,
you have to contribute in order for me to put out, and that can look like so many different things. It's ultimately up to the person to decide, but yeah, it's just not for free.
And the natural thing about that is, if I have to have that conversation with you, we probably really shouldn't have been conversing. Like, if you feel that you can just continuously come to me with any type of just heavy interactions and not try to replenish what you're asking, then realistically, like this relationship has been one sided for a long time, and I just finally realized it. So, what type of support for you would you say is like the most instrumental success? Because I know we talked about emotional, there's tangible, there's mental. What support like fills you up, makes you feel fulfilled from your system, your support system?
I would definitely say emotional. I think that's kind of always what it's been for me. Not always, but that's been what's felt the most needed for me and what consistently has kept me going. Whether that's just people that are there to like walk through the burdens of life with me, people that are there to remind me to remain positive in the dark times, people that just show up. And it doesn't mean showing up and actually doing things for me. It's just showing up, existing, being present in my life. It's been instrumental to my success. It's been instrumental to my mental health. Those are the things that I think about or reminisce on in a positive way.
I also think a lot of times the people who are givers, the support we need really is emotional because we already have the tools to give.
Yes.
So if we have the time, we can get ourselves out of whatever we need to. So I just really need somebody to kind of just emotionally be present for me.
Yes.
Because I don't need what I give out. I need a different type of fuel than I give out.
100%.
And sometimes people just don't understand that, where it's like, yeah, no, I'm able to get these things done because I have an understanding of that. But sometimes I need you to understand me and who I am and how that allows us to get here eventually. But I mean, I guess it's just hard to those people. But in my life today, I don't really I don't interact with many people like that because I feel like as you get older, they just wean themselves off.
They do.
Because that access that they want, you're no longer willing to give. So.
I will also say, though, kind of to not play devil's advocate, but to flip the coin a little bit. in my experience, I can also confidently say in my problem solving or outpouring and outpouring and outpouring, there are some relationships that maybe people could think of me that way.
Absolutely.
And not in the sense of like, oh, I'm always showing up for her and giving her the tools. It could be like, I'm showing up for her emotionally, or I'm showing up for her a certain way that she's not showing up for me in the way that I need her to. And that's completely because, not that I'm preoccupied, but that I also have a lot going on.
Yes.
And so what I've also encountered in growing up is sometimes it does require a conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a heart to heart about like, hey, I'm missing this from our relationship, or like this is changing, like what's really going on? Can we talk about it? Are we on the same page? Is this something that we can even renegotiate?
Yeah, can we save this?
Yes, can we save this, or do we need to cut it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think it's interesting because just as you mature, sometimes you just get okay with it. And it's not even, it's unfortunate because some of the people are just casualties of war. It's like,
Yeah.
I wish I had more to give you, but these slots in my life are already filled. So it's like, you're kind of like the lone, I guess, soldier out, like you're kicked off the island, so to speak.
Tough.
And it sounds rougher than it is, but it's like, I'm fulfilled. I'm at capacity.
Yes.
I'm at capacity.
Yeah. On that same vein, where was this? I think it was a Jay Shetty podcast
Okay.
that I was watching, maybe. Michelle Obama had a quote, or an analogy rather, where she was talking about her and Barack
Yeah.
and their rise in presidency, or in the White House, and how it's kind of like climbing Mount Everest. And as you continue to grow and mature, some people aren't able to make the journey with you. Some people can't make the journey because they don't have the tools, whatever it is. As you ascend, there are the people that are going to be there and be ready and game for that excursion, no questions asked. And there are people that can't come with you. And you have to ask yourself the question, do I stop in my journey to bring
those
people up?
Yeah.
Do I stop because they don't have the equipment to do it? It's so high level and different when you think about it that way. But yeah, like casualties of war, not everybody can come along, and that's okay. Yeah, it's nothing personal.
There's a lot of realities of life that you don't understand until you're older. Like you're in high school, we're gonna know everybody forever. Like we're gonna be friends forever. Like, why do we have to grow up? And it's like, there's parts of those things that you can defy the odds and still embody. And then there's others that you just realize because we're human beings, these principles don't work with us.
Yes.
Like, I can't have the capacity for everybody. I can't bring everybody with me. Some characters, some skill sets aren't suitable for where I'm trying to go.
Yes.
And some of them are. And I think you learn that the slow, drawn out way, and it seems harsh, it seems rough, but like life will just show you, hey, like this friend was great for you in high school.
Yes.
Won't make it through college.
Yes.
This friend is great in college, won't make it in the corporate world. So it's just like having that understanding is very pivotal to the journey we're trying to be on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's important to understand that the harsh realities of life they're there, like they are there for a reason. And even though you want to defy them, sometimes you can't because of your support system, your ecosystem of friends, your social network. And understanding that and giving into it, but fighting back in the same way is important. Like, I remember I was talking to Quinn, and we always talk about like when we get this age, there's certain friends who age themselves. Like they're not married, they don't have kids, but they just start saying stuff like, oh, like, I'm tired, I don't want to go out, or I don't want to do this activity, or I don't want to just hang, right? And it's like, it's not like we're just like being, not productive. We're just experiencing one another in a way that friends do.
Yes.
But then it's like, you have to keep that alive because you're going to wake up one day, God willing, you're 39, you're 42, you're 43, you're very well invested in your family, and you no longer can just call your friends up and be like, hey guys, y'all want to go to the movies?
Yes.
So you have to remember to live the moment you're in, prepare for tomorrow,
Yes.
but don't bring tomorrow before it's time, because then you can never get those hours back.
100%.
And some people don't kind of know how to balance that, and they think they're being mature, but it's actually immature to want for the future when it's not here, because you're not living in the present. You're not enjoying and really reveling in the blessing that is today. You're just worried about tomorrow. And I don't know if it's like a character trait nowadays that everybody wants to act more mature, but it's like, no, these days we'll never get them back. Like, it'll never be October 5th again, and we'll never be this age again. So I think it's important for people to enjoy the time, live the life, understand who's around you, because like you said, as this journey goes up, wherever you're trying to go, those faces can change. They rarely ever stay the same.
It's true. Life change, people change, feeling change too.
Yeah.
So, like, such a fact. With having friends that are either having children, getting married, doing both, like, it's insane. Or people like friends you had in college and y'all are out of college. It's insane trying to make time on people's schedules
100%.
based on your obligations, where you live, what you got going on in your personal life. That it really is so important to be present and to, take on any opportunity that you have in the moment, because time is fleeting.
Always.
Time is fleeting, and we're constantly being put in position to need to adapt, to change. So I felt that.
Absolutely. Do you feel you embody or even have like energy that invites the support you crave? Like, do you set yourself up to receive it when it comes?
That's a good question. I would say so. I definitely believe that I embody the support that I crave. I think something else that I am noticing is that just because I may not have or see in other people what I emulate, it's every more reason for me to continue to be the person that I am. And to give more context, when I say that, I feel as though one of the biggest things, I'm like, I need a mentor, I want a mentor, especially in this next phase of my life, and wanting to eventually embark on entrepreneurship. Like, these are the things that I need. This is what I'm seeking in, like, a leader, so to speak. And I think that I am being shown that I am the leader that I'm looking for, and that I just need to, like, suit up, boot up.
Is that realization heavy?
Very, very. It's super isolating at times. It's hard because a lot of, I wouldn't just say growing, but a lot of planning for your next step, or even ideating at times, is having seen something to follow in the path of. And so when that's not there and it's just like trees, and it's my job to go and like create the path, like ripped out obstacles. Yeah, it can be really scary.
You're an explorer, and this is the new frontier.
Yes.
And do you because obviously there's the era we're in, where we're seeing women do incredible things, be leaders, have a lot of firsts, just really push, I would just say, society forward. Is there a part of you that gets because I feel like, with all you've accomplished, and even you saying you're the leader you want to be, you're part of that push. Is any of that, because I know being a leader, you said, is tiring, but how do you feel about being one of those women? And is that tiring? Do you find it empowering? What are your feelings on that, being a woman who's a leader and just a woman of, for lack of a better term, a woman of tomorrow?
Thank you for that. That's amazing. Can you repeat the question?
No problem. I think we see a lot of women doing amazing things, in all avenues, in sports, politics, in just the creative space, right? And then you see women just, namely black women, being just strong. And they've always been strong, but there's a new highlight on it now. We can really see their impact in a way that we're allowing ourselves to see it. Let's just say that, because it's always been there. So how do you feel as being another woman of tomorrow? having that label, whether you put it on yourself or not, like you're moving and you're producing things in your space and you're getting more attention. Is there like another layer of, I would say, like another layer of responsibility, or even just like, I don't know what feelings you can feel with that, but you're like you said, you're exploring, you're pushing forward this frontier, so you're part of the face of something. The one person, like the one of many millions of black women who are doing what they do, but you represent that. Like, is that a hard burden to carry that, or do you feel empowered by it?
I feel very empowered by it. I also feel like a lot of fear.
Yeah.
Imposter syndrome, the idea of not getting it right, the idea of not walking within my purpose or calling to some degree. Like, yes, I'm on the path, but like, what if I veer off? Like, who am I affecting in doing that? And when I say that, I don't mean it as if I am putting myself on some sort of pedestal. I can mean even in regards to, like, I have a younger sister. Like,
yeah, it's a small. It starts.
Yes,
there.
I mean, like in my immediate circle and my immediate sphere of people that I connect with and support me. Yeah, I think about that all the time, but I feel deep down in my soul a calling to be of service, to be a leader, even if I don't know exactly what that looks like, just to try my hardest to do whatever it is that I'm setting out to do, and be the best at it.
And that makes you human.
Yeah,
that makes you human.
And I know that sounds so vague and not specific, but to take it back half a step, I'm a huge believer in prayer and also manifestation.
Same.
And I am really grateful to be able to look at all of the things that I've prayed for and written down and really wanted for myself, realizing themselves in real time.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing so many nuanced shifts about things that I thought things, avenues or industries that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this one day. And then I'm like, scratch that. This isn't quite what it is.
Yeah.
It's this now. And I'm okay and grateful for the way that my path is evolving. And I think that's the other part, is as a person that's a planner, that is always strategizing or is thinking 5 to 10 years ahead or steps ahead of where I'm at, it can be daunting to not know where exactly it is that I'm going, but knowing that it is imperative to do that or to set forth on that path because people are watching.
That's cool.
That was a long answer to your
question. No, I think you
but
answered it gratefully. Even your sister and just feeling that the path it's a hard one, and it's this wave that no one has kind of seen before, but you can still feel grounded in that. And like, even it just comes back to the support of like, being that woman for your sister, being that leader for yourself, being that woman for the sisters who you'll never meet, and the ones who are living and operating in the same time as you. Like, it's a tall burden, but I feel like black women are, built for it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying not to use the word strong, because I know,
yeah.
I know, that's the taboo word. So do you think that support can be overrated?
Absolutely not. I don't think support can be overrated, because support is the very thing that can keep an idea, a person, or an object upright, sturdy, not moving.
Yeah.
And because of that, it's important. It is absolutely necessary. I think that people can overrate the amount of support that they need or the way that they want that to show up.
Absolutely.
Right? That's to be debated, but I don't think it's overrated at all. I think it's so necessary. And if I didn't have the support that I have, I don't know where I would be.
That's real. And I also think nothing great that's ever been done has ever been done alone.
Ever.
You may never meet those people. You may never meet the faces. Like, anything in history you can point to, because history is man documented, we may forget whoever, the person who shot the last gun of the war, or who put the last block into the highest skyscraper. But these feats were never created alone. Everybody has support, even in ways that you don't think. It's really always there. And I think that's important for I like you to mention that as great as the things you're doing are, you have that ecosystem, you have that support that allows you to be the the refined product that you are today. Last thing I have for you is who is Johana with one N?
Johana with one N.
With one N, not two.
Who am I? Yes. I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a believer, I'm a work in progress. I am an associate manager, I'm a brand developer of sorts, walking into creative strategy. I know that the word multi-hyphenate is so overused, but I'm self-proclaimed in that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm a human being that is setting forth on a journey to creative freedom, to seeing her dreams realized, and to forging a path. That's me.
Dope. That's Johana. Well, I appreciate you for coming through today. I'm Yoru, that's Johana, and another one's in the books. Appreciate y'all, and see you in the next one. Peace.